So when I think about harvesting, I think about not just the drawing, but why you're doing that and what's the sense in what you're doing. So whether it's drawing or music, and Craig, you'll get that. You tell a story by what you see. So it's not just words, it's also about what you're seeing. And when all of you check in, there's things that are already put in my head. Craig's room tells me a lot about what Craig does, because I can see it. I can see the music, I can see the t-shirts, I can see the guitars, I can see all those things. It's fantastic. Kylie, when you checked in, and I think it was Andrew, behind you, you've got some drawings behind you, and you've got posters, and the posters are telling you a story in a step-by-step as well. So you already have this story. So when we're doing graphic harvesting, we want to tell a story. So to get a sense of how quick we work, because sometimes I've been doing these in an hour, and your mind works and you have to do this pictorial thing. We're going to do a little exercise. So you all hopefully have a piece of paper and a pen with you, and we're going to do what's called, it's a 1 minute masterpiece. We're going to break you into pairs of two, and what you're going to do is you're going to look at the other person on the screen for 1 minute. I think 1 minute will work. You need to get your pen or whatever you're using, and you cannot look at your piece of paper, but I want you to draw a portrait of the person you are in a room with. So basically you're going to be looking like this, and they're going to be, you just got to capture the little details that you might see. You literally are going to be like this, staring at somebody and moving your pen around to draw a portrait. So have you all got a piece of paper and a pen or texter? And when we're ready, Dee's going to break us into rooms of two.
So Dee is not, because for some reason...
Are you on mute, Dee?
No.
Oh, you didn't say sound for a minute there. That was magic.
Breakout rooms are not showing up on my screen, so Michelle's going to allocate people.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michelle. So if you're all ready, and I'm having a Zoom issue where I can only see the person speaking at the moment. I haven't got the option of everybody. So it makes me a bit sad because I love looking at the Brady Bunch. So if Michelle, when you're ready, just give me a thumbs up. And you'll be broken into a room, and we'll bring you back automatically for those of you who haven't been to a room. So if you can just think about how you're going to capture that person, really look at look at the face of the person, really look at the face of the person. And you can use thick lines, short lines, small lines, but you're drawing a portrait. Are we ready? Breakout rooms. Okay, beautiful. Michelle's already sending you off. And then we'll come back and have some fun about that harvesting. And this is a really good way to just get to know everybody as well.
So was that enough for them, Michelle? All in pairs?
Yep.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yep. So remember, Fiona, they can't hear you when they're in the rooms.
No, that's fine. Yep. The other thing I want to say, a couple of other people can only see the one person talking at the moment as well.
They've probably got the same update issue. That's probably
yeah. Why aren't you two drawing? Come on.
Nah.
Oh, you think you know enough about each other?
Yeah, but also then I have to be involved rather than do my harvest.
Oh,
I'm going to draw both of you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Oh, does my pen work?
They've only got 54 seconds. The back.
54 seconds, and then they're coming back.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I can draw you both in 20 seconds.
Oops, Robin's already come back.
No, I was It crashed on me, so it chucked me out of the room. So Kate's going, "You're muted." And I'm like, "I can't get in."
Drop.
So she's out there in the dark by herself now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I can send you back there.
Go on then, see if it crashes again.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, we have double Robin for some reason. That's interesting.
Maybe she logged back in.
Yeah. Okay, they will all be coming back in the next couple of seconds.
You're looking attractive this morning, Michelle.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yay!
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
love that. Oh, they're coming back. Michelle or Dee, you'll have to tell me when everyone's back because I can't see
Oh,
it.
sorry. Yes, everyone's
back.
back, Fee.
Okay, so we heard a couple of people say that's ridiculous. How was that for you?
Hilarious.
Quite challenging.
I want you all to hold your picture up. Dee, can you screenshot for me, please? And everyone hold them up till Dee's got a screenshot. I love them. They're fantastic. Oh, there's some really cool.
I moved.
Hang on, I'll do it again. Hold them
I
up.
moved.
Kate and I only had like 5 minutes, so.
Brilliant, Robin.
Keep crashing out.
We're all good?
I'm sorry, Grace.
Put a disclaimer and a really big apology prior to getting
Crimes against humanity.
We were up against it because my silly computer's not behaving this morning.
So what that did, what did it do? What did it do for all of you?
Made me realise I can't draw for shit.
Yep.
What else did it do?
It was fun.
It
It was a bit of fun.
Yeah, I had a bit of panic because we kept crashing out, but Kate went like that with a pigtail, and I'm like, So I managed to get that, but.
We laughed.
So when we're doing that, we look for little things that denote what that person might look like. It's a brilliant way we've used it as an icebreaker, and Michelle suggested it when we were doing this. It's a great icebreaker, but for me, it's about it's honing in on little details. So that's how you'll remember people. So I'm really sorry if people think that was, I don't look like that. But it's about the little details, and it's about what you achieved in that period of time. So I'm glad you had a little bit of fun with that and you got to meet somebody face to face. So now what I'm going to do is, we have been doing these series for 10 weeks, as Dee said, and it's been a really beautiful time for us to capture stories. It's been a great time for us to hear ideas and to gather knowledge around the world. And so as many, I have this wall, and I'm just going to walk around with my computer because it's easier. So behind me, you can see the wall, and we started up here. I just started with my pen because I came on a call and thought, what will it be like? And then it grew, and every single one of these is part of our sense making, and we're going to make sense of this. And it goes to the floor now. It's just fantastic. Some of you have seen these before, but this is in the details in here. We were talking about weaving and capturing the web. So from all of these things, we had lots of questions. I drew things that made sense. We talked about what we have as knowledge. So knowledge is like a library that we all bring together. And you can see on here as well, I hope, that there's all the different things we need when we're telling a story. Or here we were talking about exploring ecology and bioregional asset mapping. So this is about knowing, learning, developing, and liberating. So there's all these different ways you can draw things. I draw because I love it and I love art. So art has always been in my world. But when I tell a story, I've got to tell it so other people understand it as well. So while we're doing this sense making, the next step that came out for me was I went round I've been going round all these types of things, and I've been looking for words that we may have used repetitively, or images for me as a harvester, the images that I've repeated. So if that makes sense, all those images. And this is what the next step was. Because now we've got a puzzle, and we've got to put this puzzle together. So on every one of these are words that repeated and came up that we thought as people on these calls were really, really important. So this is our assets, practices, growth, hope, respect, hospitality. I mean, we all know that hospitality is, you know, good fun, learn, creativity. What do you see? If you see here, they're just individual. They're not together yet. So we haven't put them together, which is great because I'm not the only one who needs to make sense of what we've been doing. So that's just my little part of the sense making of our T-Day series. I want to show you a harvest that, even though it's not to do with the T-Day series, while we've been doing these, a little person visited us yesterday and she bought this. She brought this just to us. And this is really important. And even though I do have everything about writing on the front, that's okay. I would respect the child's artwork and write on the back. That's fine. Don't have a problem. When she visits us, she sees the pink birds, which are the galahs that line our driveway along the fence line. This is the paddock up here where the alpacas live. And this is where the chooks live, in the chook paddock. And this is our big line of trees because we have a pine tree line. So that's a 2-year-old's drawing. And she told me a story in her drawing. And it was absolutely brilliant. The next one she did for us is this icy pole stick. And it was really interesting when she described it. And this is the other thing about harvesting, is listening to what's being said to you. Or seeing and listening and putting them all together. It's a picture of the man who holds the stop sign. So she used the icy pole stick as the sign, and then she drew the man on the stop sign. But she told a story. So with our sense making, I think, as grown-ups, I'll say grown-ups, some of us are, some of us aren't, and that's okay because we don't all need to be grown-ups all the time. We can overthink things too much when a simple image can make a difference. We talk about connection, we talk about colours are very important when we're working with people. I choose colours. In this group of harvests, I've chosen colours that were complementary but opposites as well, but not angry colours. So we can talk about what we're using colours for as well. Some people are, and if we're working with anyone with autism, sometimes colours go, and for me, colours mean things. I very rarely will use a red pen. And that's because the visual of a red pen is my mother walking around the supermarket when we were little, correcting the writing in the fruit and veggie department with a red texter of all the people who wrote the signs when they were handwritten. So I can't use a red pen because that means mum's going to check my homework, or we're going to be in public and she's going to be changing everybody's wording. So red's one of those things. But harvesting is beautiful because it tells another story. So how you choose to tell a story is completely different. On your piece of paper, or just turn it over, that's fine, absolutely. With all the things that we talk about with harvesting, I just want you to draw one thing, doesn't have to be pretty colours. What is harvesting to you? What is an image you see when we talk about harvesting? Or what is a colour? Or is a shape? Or is it a connection? Is it emojis? Emojis have come into the world and are magnificent, absolutely magnificent now, because we can tell a story with emojis. So, you know, when you have a hump day and it's, you know, you're struggling along on a hump day, one of my friends will just send me a text message and all it will be is camels, because camels have humps. So if I get a text message with camels, I know I'm touching base with that person. So just think about that. And I'm going to quickly, if anyone wants to share that, that would be great, because I can't see you all. So if you share and just, that would be fantastic. I'm just going to have a look in the chat. And Kylie, there's a lot of us at the moment who can only see one person. It's to do with the update, as someone said.
And just to remind people, if they want you to see it, they're going to have to speak and bring themselves forward into your vision.
So if anyone wants to speak, please do that.
Okay, so
I'm intrigued. I have high expectations for you, Stacey.
Yeah, good luck.
I'll
with
just say that.
Lower your expectations dramatically, like down. Okay, so this is what a graphic harvest means to me. So there's like a pile of like messy balled up wool, and then on this side it's like all straight, and it makes sense to me. Like,
oh, beautiful.
Normal. That is my interpretation of your graphic harvest.
Thank you.
Can I just add, Fiona, when people are sharing, if you're laughing and talking at their thing, then we can't see what they're showing.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm happy to go. So this is my graphic harvest. I don't know. I kind of need to think, but essentially it's really about, for me, I've got a few different things in there. It's about listening and then compiling that information into folders, which you can see there. And it's looking at the connection between all of the different conversations as well. And it's almost a little bit existential as well. So hence the sort of atom or solar system or whatever you want to call that. I get a lot of music when I hear, like I understand a lot through music. Like I'd probably try a musical harvest one day. Yeah, it's a little digital too, which is hence the binary numbers, and lots of thought bubbles, trying to put them together. Okay, thanks.
It's brilliant, Craig. I love that. And it was really interesting. The first thing I saw on your page was binary. And that is interesting because I'm not IT, but my son is IT and he talks in binary. So for me, that was brilliant, because you just reminded me there's another element that we can put into that as well, is we've got that element of the computer that can generate things for us as well that are visual. And how we talk electronically is really, really important. And of course, music. We love it. Music is my world. I sing. If I don't know what to say to people, I'll sing it. Might not make them happy, but you know, sometimes I sing it. Because music is so good for telling a story. A crying baby, we sing a lullaby. Distracting somebody, I break into song. It's fabulous. The Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. But we can marry that together. So when we're talking about graphic harvesting, the layers of harvesting in itself are written, they're visual, they're audible, all of those things come into harvesting. And for me, I find that it's an endless way to work, because the ideas, as you put on yours, it's that ideas that work. That's brilliant. Anyone, can someone else share? I love it.
Yeah, I'll share. So I have drawn the arrows, which is like about the conversation and the people and the communication, and obviously the little people, because, you know, in what we do is, you know, that's what it is. It's all about listening, hearing, you know, working out what the community, what the people are wanting, I suppose. So that's.
And you told a story, Karen. And the circle, you know, the beautiful circle of how we connect people and how do we bring those people into there. I love that. It's beautiful. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll share. So I've got the thought bubble with the ideas, and then I've got, we talk about it, we collect it, and then we share it. So I do that
Beautiful.
with 3 and 4-year-olds all the time. So it's just amazing to listen to their thought process and where they lead, where they go with that is amazing.
And I think that's something we need to remember as well, is that when we stop and listen, when we're harvesting, that's how we capture it. And if you're using that as a tool for work, and we did, and Michelle and a few others of us, we've all been in early years before, observation, observation, observation. And then we go through different iterations of how we report that back. So if we're collecting children's stories, I'm sure we use cameras, we use pictures, we use all those things. I love it. It's brilliant. Someone else? I've only got a few minutes, but that would be great. Someone else to share.
Yep. So just ignore my other notes around it, but I've got like a big sieve, and you know, and like you shake the sieve, you know, like it's like when you're separating the seeds and or whatever from the other stuff that you've harvested, and then out comes the good stuff that you're looking for.
I love it, Andrew. It's brilliant. I love that. And that's how we work. And do you doodle when you do meetings?
I do a bit, yeah.
Do the doodles make more sense than the words, or do they work together?
Bit of both. Sometimes it's just to take me away from the meeting.
This is always good.
Yeah.
But then when you look at that, you think why you took yourself away from that space as well.
Yeah, it's usually to get into a mental space where I can make more use of what's going on.
So it's really good for mindful thinking and self-care as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm going to wrap up in a second, and we can have a chat and people can ask me questions, as many as you like. I could have this conversation for hours. I love having people in a space where we can draw and connect together. And I do some art classes, and I'm really big on, and it must be how I work, when I do a painting, I focus on my negative space in the painting. So for anyone who's artistic and creative, it's not necessarily, if I painted a jar, I don't necessarily focus on the jar. I will focus on the space around the jar, what that looks like, what the shape looks like, the treatment of that in the negative space. And I see graphic harvesting as part of how we make sense of things, that really important tool that can often dive into the negative space where people may not have thought to go before. So I feel that I try and capture those things in there that people may have overlooked, because things fall through the cracks. You know, it's just one of those things that's brilliant to be able to bring to the table. I'm totally blessed that I work with these two beautiful women who get it, and our mindsets work really well. And I think that's something also about harvesting, is you've got to tune into who you're working with, and you've got to know what the outcomes you're looking for are. So we use different ways of talking. We use visual cues in our harvesting because we can see what each other's thinking. Usually when I've got a full screen of Zoom, I can see everybody's faces. Every single thing has an opportunity to grow in a harvest and make sense of something else. It's how you choose to use them to make sense of things. With the Young Conference that we're talking about lots of an online platform. So we're talking about music, we're talking about visual, we're talking about conversations. But how do we display our marketing? This is all stuff that's really important graphically. This is all about visual. So if nothing else today, I hope I've put in your head something else about the use of graphic harvesting, the use of photography, the use of music, and how we bring things together. And what we're doing over the next couple of weeks is, we're working out the sense making of all of these. This is a first dabble into what you guys see in what we've been doing. And what we want to do is get you guys to be part of our sense making. So now that we've thrown that little, fishing line out there to everybody, you've got stories and you've got words and you've got things that are stuck in your mind over our sense making time, and you've got the things that you want to see come out of this. So now I want you to also think about graphically, what could you bring to the table as part of that? Or what you've seen that you can grow and develop to add to our sense making of tea days. Thank you for joining us. I'll pick back, throw questions.